This is a show about facing fear, unlocking courage, and taking action.
Courage isn't necessarily a daunting thing.
It's going to give you more purpose. It's going to give you more drive.
It feels like making a courageous decision is going to get you closer to who you aspire to be.
It's knowledge plus faith plus action equals courage.
I was trying to find that balance between being a coach, being an entrepreneur, being a mom, being a wife. So it's, these inflection points that happen in your life and the courageous or hard decisions that sometimes you have to make to follow what truly lights you up.
My goodness, I like that I have had a life shift, and when you ask others to do it, you should do it yourself. And I always say, hey, I had the courage to fire myself in 2017. Really, I remember the moment. And you leap into this new world, and really, really early on that journey. I mean, I had written the book. Everything I had learned from that book writing process is why I left, but I had held the book up till 2019. And Mary, you and I met like really, really early into that journey. And I know it's not like, in some ways, I really love that we haven't stayed that in touch. Like, I'll see your LinkedIn stuff and I'll give it, a like or celebrate, we'll clap. But you kind of saw me at the beginning of the news. So, from leader to leader, I'm curious to get your take, if you could step back on even how much you've seen change in my brand or in me since we first started. And to back up, I am joined today by Mary Olson-Menzel. Gosh, we met in, we'll say it's 5 years, right?
2019, yeah.
All right, so it's 2019. Very good friends on both sides are who introduced us. I mean, if I'm really going to go there, my fraternity brother and his wife, who met at college. What's up to the Knights? And how did they reach out to you like, hey, you should talk to Ryan for your stuff, or how did it work?
Yes. So it all happened on a beach in Block Island. I was
That's
sitting
right.
with Matt talking about, writing a book and, friends who had written books and about the MVP Business Book Club. And he said, you need to talk to Ryan. Oh, you're going to love Ryan. And you were my first, and it's so funny, after I read your book, you were my first book club interview right after the pandemic, like right after the shutdown. It was you and I with our headphones, just trying to figure it out. It was amazing.
Well, nothing's changed, right? I mean, here we are. I've got my headphones on.
Different coasts. Yep.
Remember when we said words like social distance? I actually haven't heard that term in a while, right? Where did that term go?
Thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
But here we are. We're social distanced. I should also let you know that I am coming to New York City in a month. I am so excited. I have not been in a while. I need it's like the gas tank is on empty and I need to fill it up with all of New York. That's the food, the energy. People don't get, like, when you walk down the streets of the city, you hear every language. It's like you don't catch it all, but you catch enough. And I know me well enough to know I have my solo journey hack. This is probably more than you wanted. Anytime I go to the city now, one night I need to see my old crew. One night is usually a dinner with a client. And
Yeah.
if I can stretch, one night I am buying a ticket to Broadway approximately 30 seconds before the show starts.
Yes.
Just to not get knocked on dynamic pricing. Don't make the mistake that the FOMO mistake that you're not going to get a seat. You're going to get a seat. Get your little StubHub app out. It's also very easy when it's for one person.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, now I'm going to buy it. So that's that's what's coming for me. I'm very excited. How is New York? Are you in the city proper?
So we're outside of New York City. We're very close to where Brooke and Matt live. Actually, we live in the neighboring town. We live in a town called Larchmont, which is Westchester County. Brooke and Matt live in New Rochelle, right next door. So we're about 16 miles outside of the city. So I'm in the city a lot for work and clients and with the 100 coaches and all of
Amazing.
that. So yeah.
Well, yeah, just to back up, I mean, you're a coach, you facilitate, you're a speaker, you're an author, which
Yeah,
is awesome. I mean, a lot of similarities. It's like, hey, you take the East Coast, I'll take the West Coast. We got this thing
exactly.
covered.
We divide
Right.
and conquer.
What talk to me about how it's been like the last, I mean, since we last left off, I'm sure, like, what are you seeing from leaders out in the market? Like, is it a good time for business? Is it, and I don't mean just for your business. I mean, like,
Right.
it I'm happy to go first. I feel like we're in the golden age of therapy, and we just happen to be called coaches, right? Like and or facilitators, depending on how deep they want to go, right? But
Right.
are you
Right.
seeing that too? Like, do you think people are more open to the idea that maybe they need an outside perspective?
Yeah, I think the acceptance of a coach is, like it's never been before, right? Everybody is, I got a coach, I need to hire a coach, this and that, which is great for our business, right? But I think it's, the question you asked about the leaders, what am I seeing with leaders is it's confusing out there. And, we're constantly leaders, especially, CEOs, right? When we're talking about the CEOs of businesses, they're constantly being barraged by, now this is happening. This is happening. How do we talk about this? How do we get our people to continue to be inspired and drive change throughout all the tumultuous things that have happened in the past 4 years? So coaches are needed more than ever. True.
And do you find that are you being called to come in and like one inning, one inning of work, or are you able to stay on for like the arc of the game? Are you like, I'm curious to hear when you do start to work with somebody, do they think it's transactional at first? And then it's like, oh, wait, I need this. And so it's worth the investment.
Sometimes, it's interesting, Ryan. It's, they call you in for one thing, and if you do your job well, then it expands into 100 other things. And then you end up working with the whole team, which then is where the magic happens, right? Because then you get to lift and elevate an entire team through leadership and through coaching.
Is there a like a perfect project for you?
Oh man, I mean, we work with fintech and HR tech and the NFL now. We're working with the
Awesome.
NFL. I mean,
So
all
cool.
of them are perfect because they're all so unique and they have their own challenges. And I think it's about the people, right, Ryan? I mean, if you have people who have a true desire to be better and to elevate their teams, but also to elevate themselves, then it makes it so much fun for everyone.
I mean, I don't know. I got to call you out on this one a little bit, right?
Okay,
It sounds like you're talking about your children. Like I love all my children equally.
equally.
There's something special about them, even though that one has to wear a helmet every day around the house. So no, I'm just playing around. But like, of course, you can always find the good, which I think is what a coach is supposed to do, is to shine a light on like, hey, like these are some things that need to be addressed. And my number one personal value is optimism. So I'm always going to come at it from a glass half full
Yeah,
mentality, even if it's like, hey, if we have this hard conversation, imagine what a month from now looks like, or imagine what 3 months looks like,
right.
right? Like, but you
Yes.
have to have the conversation. So I'm curious then you said that the projects are all are all different. Can you give me a little color on like what are you doing? Like what are you doing exactly? Like are you coaching? Are you helping them find better people? All the above?
So, well, one of the very, I mean, we're talking about courage right here on your podcast. One of the courageous things that I did in 2021, 22 was I phased out our executive search division. And so that was tough. That was hard for me to do. It was a big decision because MVP, we had been executive search and coaching for 10 years. And I had to actually take the advice that I gave my own clients and follow what lights me up.
This is
And
always what's hardest, right? This is
that's the
always
hardest. I mean, you have to shine that light back on yourself and say, okay, what is it that I'm enjoying the most? What is it that feels like has the most impact, but also the most joy? And that was the coaching and the executive development and the leadership work that I was doing. So we phased out executive search 100%. And so now we're focused on really, truly elevating the leaders. Coaching, we do one-on-one, but we also do team coaching. We just wrapped up a while back a global marketing team project where we took them for an entire year through a leadership journey and taught them how to be coaches as leaders, and kind of like spoon fed them some tools and tricks and had them apply it to their day-to-day life. So that was a lot of fun because you could see the impact unfolding on a global level.
all right. I have advice. I need advice. I need advice on something. So, and this is coming from hearing to your courageous move to say, we're going to do this. And look, when we talk about courageous, there's really, I say there's three parts of the business. There's really two parts. There's courageous leadership and there's courageous consulting. Right. And so the leadership side often starts as, hey, can you come in and we know we have an offsite, or we have a keynote, and we liked your book, or we love your book, or we heard you had a book. It's really that, right? For some reason, the book is still like, oh, he's an author. Right? I'm sure you get this too, right? So I'll come in and I'll do anywhere from now an hour to 3 days, depending on what they're asking. Which is cool to see it evolve, and you have a framework to doing a 2.5 day, 3 day summit where you take teams on journeys. I also have this coaching program that I'm not selling right now because honestly, I feel like it's slick to say coaching program one. Like I don't like saying it. Two, I do know in my heart that when and it's almost been word of mouth with certain leaders, when I take them through the program, I know they come out the other side with like clarity and energy. Like what else could you ask for? Right. Like
Right.
they're ready to go. And that has strengthened those relationships. But I have fear in calling it a coaching program. Well, do I automate it? And if I and I've tried to, like, I've got like systems in place where I've looked at it and I'm like, it doesn't feel like it has the same impact as when I get to sit with you and roll up my sleeves and hold my hands. Eh, What would your advice be to me if you were my coach on, again, I know I can help people. So like if you were my coach, what recommendation would you give me?
Well, I would say don't let go of that one-on-one stuff, because I think that's truly where the big magic happens, is because they get Ryan, right? They get
Yeah.
you, and you're part of that secret sauce that takes them to the next level. What I will say is there is a market for you to automate it at a different level, right? So what we did was, I developed 10 years ago this pivot program for people who wanted to pivot out of their jobs and find something different. They want to do that 10-step program with me one-on-one. There's this price tag, right? But if they have a niece or a child or somebody graduating or somebody, who's looking to just get some career guidance, we have now an automated program called the MVP Career Academy that you can get for, pennies on the dollar to what they would spend for one-on-one time with me. So it does give you another offering to give to people who maybe can't afford or don't have the time for that really, really deep work that you're doing with them. So
Good
there's a
feedback.
solution. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel time starved. This is good problem to have, camp, right? But
Mhm.
and I don't know if you feel this way, but often what happens is somebody dips the toe in and they like what's come out of it, and then that leads to an ongoing consulting relationship where it's like, hey, well, okay, right. The leadership side to me is more advisory. It's or that's what we are. We're an
Right.
advisor, right? And when your brand is courageous, I get paid to tell the truth. Like that's the best part. Like
Yes.
we'll get there fast, right? It's quick,
Yeah.
but the consulting side is more like, okay, we actually need to roll up our sleeves together now, or where do you want us to step in and help you do the work? And which there's joy there too. But what it does is, then I have to be a dad. I have a 10-year-old and 8-year-old. I have to be a husband, all the hats, all the things. So I'm trying to navigate how to do all the things still. And I know I have something with the coaching side, just haven't really unlocked it. So if there was a book title for your life to date, what would you call what
Oh,
what would you give it? What's the title? Where would I
uh,
find it, by the way? Is it an Audible? Is it a Kindle? Is it in the thriller section? Is it what's the book title? Oh, let's hear it.
oh, man, that's a great question, Ryan. I think that it would be bridged between the self-help and the business section. And I think you could find it in all places, right? Because we need to be everywhere, book, Kindle, and Audible. I think, it's truly about the journey of what I mean, what we talk about all the time is what is it that lights you up? And really, really following and making those hard decisions when you have to know when something doesn't light you up. Right. So that was, my phasing out of the recruiting group was really around my, he was 11 at the time, my 11-year-old saying, Mom, you talk to people about finding their passion and being lit up. He goes, you look tired, because I was trying to find that balance that you're talking about, Ryan, between being a coach, being an entrepreneur, being a mom, being a wife, being a friend, being a daughter, all of those things that tug on us. So it's a really truly, these inflection points that happen in your life, and the courageous or hard decisions that sometimes you have to make to follow what truly lights you up.
All right, so I have a book title for you, but I want to hear your actual title first.
Oh, I said inflection point.
Oh, inflection point.
Inflection point.
I like that more for the subhead. Not that you asked me. I think
Okay,
it,
tell me.
I think it's more like something around flicker. Like find the flicker, trust the flicker, or
Ooh,
like right, like something that you can feel the energy of, like
spark.
when
The spark.
yes, when the
Yeah.
flicker happens, you're on your way. So I don't know if it's like find your flicker or something unique, right? And what's really funny is, and I've never, just to be very clear, Flickr has never made it into my glossary of terms. So it's not like, oh, I use Flickr, but
Yeah.
I do set the labels on my alarms. So when I wake up in the morning, because we're all humans, and I still need to see what I need to see too. And
Mhm.
one of the labels, it's my first alarm for the week, is transfer the light. And so
Mhm.
we're light kin, you and I. We're light brothers and sisters. And
Yes.
I feel like it's really can be scary. And I think a lot of leaders feel in the dark. And what we do is we transfer that, hopefully that clarity, or we give them the mirrors for them to see what they need to see. And it is the light that they need to go be the leaders that they need to be. So I like that we're both in the light camps. That's pretty cool.
I love it. And I love that. I love the flicker too, because it could be flickering to become brighter. It could be flickering out. And you have to
Yeah.
really be discerning about what that means in your life for that period in your life. Because it
Yeah.
can be different when you have young kids at home, and different when you have kids that are grown, and different phases of your professional career as well.
There's something here, something bigger
Yeah.
here. I'm sensing
Yeah.
bestseller. I think it's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie. Who's playing you in the movie?
Oh gosh. I mean, who I love? I mean, she's so much younger than me, but she could. I'll take it. I'll take it. What is her name? Brie Larson. She was Marvel, and then she's now in Lessons in Chemistry. She's badass.
I like it. I recently got I was running one of these a summit in Michigan, and multiple people, and I don't think they had spoken to each other. They're like, "Hey, do you know who Joe Rogan is?" It's like, okay, all right. So I guess mine, not that I'm
There
in
you go.
Flickr, right? But I've been
Maybe,
called Rogan. Worst things to be called.
well, maybe we'll do it together, Ryan. And maybe I'll do Brie Larson as the young me and Jennifer Aniston as the my age me. I'll take that
Oh,
too.
I like where you're going with this. Yeah, let's jump around on time. We can go back and forth. Very,
Yeah,
very
we gotta
cool.
do a little time traveling with our Flickr and our light.
All right, so from a leadership standpoint, like what are like give me the three largest pain points you're sensing, and I like three just because I like the number three, but
Yeah.
if there's, that you're sensing when you start working with a client or you get that first phone call, or okay, after the phone call, you actually get to the root of
Yeah.
the issue. What are the three big pain points that you're running into, you're seeing right now?
Yeah. I mean, I think one is just all that noise that's out there, right? There's so much noise that is coming at leaders every day from everywhere. And it's kind of about, cutting through that noise, cutting through that clutter and getting very clear on what they want even, right? I mean, somebody might raise their hand and call me and say, "I need help." Okay, well, what do you need? I'm not sure yet, but I know I need help. So to continue with the light conversation and the flicker conversation, we're there to shine a flashlight on their path and help to illuminate where they want to go. And I think so that's number one. Number one is,
Fun. Cut the
yep,
noise.
cut through the noise, get clear on where you want to go. Number two is uh, drop the idea that you have to be a different person in the organization, right? Come as you are. Come and be your authentic self. Because what we've found, we have this concept called humane leadership. And it's really, truly something that was born out of our experiences with COVID and beyond. But it's really about bringing your true self to the workforce. And that's how you inspire people because they get to see you as a real human being. They get to see you with your all the great stuff, but they also get to see a little bit of vulnerability. And that allows people to understand that you're human too. And it makes you more relatable.
All right, so we've got cut the noise
Cut
and
the noise,
cut the, cut the persona, right?
cut the
And
persona. Yes.
right,
Yes.
what's it's so, and I love this because the amount of times I've tried to navigate a conversation, and this was even from the storytelling side. Remember, I came
Yes.
from advertising,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, and we would be in a presentation, and we'd be presenting ideas, and for whatever reason, and I think it's fear, many creatives present like three ideas. You present a safe idea, you middle of the road, and then you walk the plank, right? With
Yeah.
the risky. And I think we
Right.
present the safe one because you're afraid. You're afraid. No one ever wants that one, and yet we present it fear. But when the when a client laughs, but also then starts to walk back from the laugh, they start speculating, or excuse me, visualizing on, can they sell this up in their own company, even though viscerally they know which one in their hearts work the most. And
Yeah.
I used to say to them, like, hey, what do you do on a Friday night? Like, what do you do Saturday night? What's the perfect? Are you like a Netflix and chill? Are you right? And like, there's this imaginary line that when we used to commute, that people cross over when they come to work, and they leave their house close to who they are, and then they cross this fictitious line. And by the time they get to work, it's like the khakis are full and 9 to 5 takes over, and they're robotic, or they're afraid they're protected. That's
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. I'm like, how do you leave that person behind? Because
Yeah,
whatever worked on you at home that's the most inspirational leader you could find, is the one that's not afraid to be real and be themselves.
exactly. And that actually is what we call the Superman syndrome. You go into the phone booth and you come out and you're like, okay, I can, solve all the problems of the world. But to your point, you've got to bring your whole self to the workplace because that's where the magic happens. And that brings me to point number 3, which is letting your people be themselves and letting your people, creating a safe environment for your people to have bad ideas, to get creative, to, you know, fail and pivot. And, I think that's a really important number 3, is just creating that safe place where your people can come to work as full selves as well.
All right, so we've got cut the noise, cut the persona, and cut the control freak.
Yeah.
Cut the micromanager, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
what's your take on? I mean, if you're practicing these 3 yourself, I kind of think I know your answer, but maybe you have a different thought on this. What's your take on? I mean, you're a coach. That's the label, right? But
Mhm.
are you are you a friend? Are you also a friend, or is there a different line there?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's such a fine line. There are clients who have become friends, of course. I mean, you get so deep and so intimate with these people that you can't help coming out with a relationship, right? So, for example, there's a woman that I coached through a lot of career coaching who ended up becoming a CFO at a public company. That was her ultimate goal. And we got her there over the span of a couple of years. I sent her a text on Friday. She was on my mind. I sent her a text to check in. And I just told her how grateful I was to have her in my life and that she took me on this journey with her.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're accompanying them on their lives journey and you're shining that flashlight to help light their way.
Do you think it's? You think the difference is you have to stay in the coach lane until they show that they want to be friends with you too?
I think you stay in the coach lane as long as they're paying you. And I think that, I think that you can still be friends, right? I mean, there are many clients that I've had drinks with who I love and adore and enjoy my time with. But there is that piece of, not crossing that line a little bit, right? Where you just, you're there to do a job, you're there to help them excel, and you can have a very, very deep relationship and a friendship. But I think there's, only so many that get into the inner circle, so to speak.
Yeah, I find myself. I want to be the like. I just think they're so lonely at work, or and I'm not like it's not like poor them. They're so like I think leaders feel the higher up they get, the more sharp elbows are all around them, and I think maybe it's simpler answer is there's more fear, and so they don't know right to who they can rely on, who they can trust. It's not as simple anymore. Someone that they were peers with one day, they got the promotion or you got the promotion, and now they're on your team. And it's like, well, you kind of know all their deepest, darkest, but now you got to play the role of like, now you're their boss. These things are real. So I've always come back to like, wow, I want to be the best friend I can be. When I could be that person, I believe like it also just makes the job a little bit easier. I think they know that I'm coming from a good place. No doubt. Do I have a job to do? I totally agree with you. Are your clients primarily Northeast?
No, they're everywhere. We've got clients in California, we've got clients in Oklahoma City, we've got clients in Atlanta and Singapore and London.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
S-
everywhere.
So let me ask you, do you feel, where can you share an example where actually where the client is, they are extremely different, like a New York client versus a California client? And also, where is there just no? It doesn't matter. This is a primal. You're as a leader, everyone's aligned on this. Can you share a little bit there?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question too. It's, you know, people are people, right? Whether you live in Oklahoma City or Singapore. But what you do have to be mindful about as a coach is the language that you're using, right? Because it's just, you want to make sure that you're meeting them where they are so that things are not getting lost in translation. Such as little mistake we made during COVID when we were working with a client in Singapore. We had a coaching methodology that we were teaching them, and it didn't fly in Asia Pacific, right? It was just, it was a very American coaching methodology, and they tried it out. They were good sports. They tried it out and they came back and they were very honest. They're like, this didn't work so well in our culture. And that was a huge aha moment for us, was, you know, that they're, while people are still people, leaders are still leaders, you can, you know, meet them from a heart space, but from a language space, you might have to tweak things a bit to get to your audience. And really, I mean, you know this from advertising, right? You got to know your audience. So
How often is your audience like how often are you getting referrals now? Is it just like is that
that's it. Yeah, that's all we do. I mean, we don't, I will tell you that 99.999% of our clients are all through referrals.
are you still doing the book club?
Yeah. Yes.
And what's the book du jour? Where are we on?
The book du jour is one that's coming up. It's actually one right here by a friend of mine from the 100 Coaches. It's called You, Me, We, and it's by Morag Barrett. And it's why we all need a friend at work, Ryan.
Oh, see,
Here we go. See?
he stole
Yeah.
my next book. This is unbelievable.
I know. I'm excited. She's pretty, she's a powerhouse and just warm and lovely and super smart.
So the 100 Coaches, isn't that new?
That is new.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I am very close with Mr. Rhett Power, who I believe is in that group.
Yeah.
Molly, is Molly in there? Molly Shang, is she in there as well? Say it skillfully.
I haven't met her yet, but there are a lot of
That's
coaches.
100 of you.
It's
Yeah.
100. Yeah. Yep.
She's
And
also in
I'm
New York.
random.
So
Oh, she is.
I'm gonna make that connection. She's
Right.
like she's a badass. I love Molly. So and not that Rhett, you're a badass too. You know, it's like Rhett and I ran a bunch of our pandemic sort of we need to do something moment was every Friday we ran these courageous action chats and
Remember that.
yeah, it was just to bring us together and I just felt like we kind of needed each other. It was back to social distancing. It was too much distancing. Like, let's come back together a little bit. And,
Yes.
and Rhett and I ran them together, and it was just, I don't see me like ever forgetting that moment in my life where it was just the right thing to do. It wasn't about how do you monetize, like, this idea. It was, I needed it. It was like my mental health as much as probably anybody else's. But what a great group. Can you like explain, like, because I don't think most of the listeners here know what the
What it is.
100 Coaches is all about. Can you share a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's new for me. I was referred into the group by a guy in California, actually, Dr. Mark Goldston. And it was an organization that was started by Marshall Goldsmith. And Marshall, if you don't know him, you should read some of his stuff. I mean, he talk about badass. He's a leader in the space. He's got a really refreshing, voice and way of looking at things. And he started this because he wanted to create kind of a group of people who were not only leaders in their field, but people who actually wanted to help each other, like with nothing else, right? A pay it forward kind of organization with best of the best. And it's been, I mean, it's really incredible. Some of the names, that are in there, obviously some of your friends, but really, really incredible people who just want to help each other and who want to make the world better. And that is, that speaks to me on a million different levels. So, so far, so good. I've loved everyone I've met thus far.
It's a great group. And Marshall has a new book out as well. So we'll give him a little.
We can just throw that one right up here too, because that is becoming coachable.
Oh, I love that word, coachable.
Yeah.
I'm air quoting for those of you who are just listening. With all my free time, I coach my 10-year-old soccer team. And I'd say there was 4 big words, but the main word was coachability. And
Mhm.
like, to me, that's everything in life. It's like, are you coachable? This is a repeater. My favorite word is not courage. It's willing.
Mm.
And are you willing to like hear someone else's perspective? Are you open to it? But then once you commit, will you will it through? Like, will you
Yeah.
find a way to make it happen? So coachability to me is in that same family of, am I open-minded? Am I going to be able to have awareness and perspective and space even? How would one go about, like, what practices do you give people? Like, I mean, I think a lot of this is about habit forming, right?
I think you have such a good point, Ryan. It's about a desire to be the best you can be, right? And whether that is a 10-year-old soccer player or whether that is Marshall Goldsmith or, the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, right? It starts with the desire. And then you have to bring in an open mind to hear the feedback and to hear the coaching and to actually be able to then take that without getting offended or whatever. I mean, you're allowed to let it sting if it's, hard to hear, but what do you do with it from there? Right? It's about resilience too. Really looking at, okay, I do have a desire to be the best I can be. I want to ask people that I trust, my trusted friends, colleagues, my coach, but then it's about taking that feedback and, to your point, doing something about it and making it actionable. So, different people have different ways of breaking it down. So you have to adjust and customize your coaching to kind of meet the needs of every distinct individual to really hit it, right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what like the future of coaching looks like. Well, like, does it,
Yeah.
is it something where, everyone now has a screen with them? Is it and at the ready, or you think more in-person coaching, or where do you think the business is going?
I mean, I always prefer in person, right? But that, because we're so global, that's not always a possibility. So that was one of the silver linings of COVID, right? We became, here we are in New York and California on a Zoom together, having a really great conversation. So I think it's interesting. When I think about the future of coaching, I think about creating something where eventually you will walk away from this person and they'll have all those tools in their tool belt and they won't need you, right? So it's really about creating people who can sustain in leadership and in life with all of the knowledge that they've gained, but that in a way that they don't necessarily always need us anymore.
It's funny. I'm looking at this coaching 100, and there's
Yeah.
so many. Like, Eddie Turner's in this thing, David Meltzer's in this, John Baldoni, Terry Jackson, Whitney Johnson. Whitney and I just did something for Kraft Heinz together, and we didn't even. That's where we met, and it wasn't through 100. It was for something else. So
Really?
really, just a great Susie Perk, Susie, Rhett, and I are in the middle of a project, a book. I'd call it more a half book on self talk. That
Mm.
there's just, to your point about helping companies get clear, right? Lock in. There's another voice in your head that's trying to work against you, and so we've been studying that for the last few years. So we're working away on that. What a great group. All right, Mary, take us home here. One, shame on us. It's been, we'll say, 4.5 years. let's just say you're busy, I'm busy. We'll always root for each other, but I'm not going to see you for another 5 years. Okay. I hope that's not the case, but let's just say we
Yeah.
blink. It's 2028. Tell
Mhm.
me what light you're following.
Oof. Wow. Well, 2028 is going to be a big year because that's the year my youngest graduates from high school. So,
Wow.
my gosh, I mean, suddenly we'll be launching, this beautiful bright light that's, downstairs right now in my house. And I think then that is when the world just opens up, right? I am really diligent about being present as a mom and making sure that I create as much balance as I can. Not always easy, but being there for him, being there in the moments that he needs me and in the moments that he doesn't even think he needs me, right? Because those are the moments where the really great conversations happen. So I think 2028, man, hopefully I'll have a couple books under my belt. Hopefully I will be well immersed in this 100 coaches organization and just helping people left and right. But really, I think it's about at that point, the world opens up from a global perspective. And, my hope is just to make an impact on the, largest amount of people that I can and just to inspire people to truly follow their light, to truly follow what it is that lights them up so that they can live their best life and be happy, right? At the end of the day, it's like happiness, contentment, right? Be content and see the blessings in their day-to-day life.
Flickr is coming to barnesandnoble.com. This is not a knock on, okay, it's a little bit of a knock. I'm not saying Barnes & Noble is going to be around in 2028 or not. Sorry to end on a gravity moment. Hopefully it is around, but I'm looking forward to reading Flickr when it's ready.
Oh, thank you.
I'm happy to be like a little editor if you need someone to come in and scribble away. And 2020 is going to be here in a blink, Mary.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I'm going to enjoy every moment in the meantime.
As you should. Thanks for coming on the show. Obviously, we'll circle back about me coming to New York because maybe we can grab coffee while I'm there.
I would love that. And let's grab the nights. That would be so much fun.
Oh my gosh, I'd love that. And by the way, the world's like, grab the Knights. Is that like transfer the light? No, the Knights is KNIGHT. This is Nat Knight, Brooke Knight. They got a lot of shout outs and love on the show. All right, Mary, take care.
All right, bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Courageous Podcast. If you enjoy the show, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts so more people can find us. See you again next week.